I am a teen female, the second of 7 kids, 4 girls and 3 boys. Our sleeping situation isn't ideal at the moment because we live in a 2-bedroom apartment. The girls share one room and the boys share the other, and our mom sleeps in the main area with the baby. I currently share a bed with my young grammar school-age sister because my preschool sister is a bedwetter. My mom and I are saving for bunk beds, but it's a while off yet. Recently, one of my friend's parents couldn't collect her after school, and since my place was the closest to school, she came over. We went into my room where my sisters were playing, and she noticed the 2 beds and asked where I slept. I told her I slept with my sister, and when she asked why, I told her. Well, anyway, she went home and told her parents, who reported my mom to Child Services, who visited us. They said each child needs a bed of their own, and they'll be coming back twice a month for checks and stuff until we do. My mom and I are now really stressed, and I've been missing school to take extra shifts, so the school phoned Family Services again, which just made things worse. I ended up going to school and getting into an argument with my friend, where I told her she had no right to tell her parents and get me into this mess, and that she was an idiot who needed to learn when to keep her mouth shut. She told me she was just trying to help me, and I said she should have helped me by not saying anything. She got really upset at me and told our other friends, who now all think I'm an idiot. Edit. My mom had me and my brother relatively young, and our dad split. The father of the next 3 siblings is currently in prison. The father of the youngest 2 is not allowed to contact us. 3 out of 7 of us are the result of failed contraception. No idiots here. She was trying to help you the only way she knew how. A teenager who didn't grow up in poverty isn't going to have the best set of resources for that. But you aren't an idiot either for being frustrated. I think the idiot is a system that allows a family to struggle so much that a teenager has to compromise her future by skipping school to buy a place to sleep. I'm pretty sure the idiot here is CPS for demanding you get more beds but not providing any, clearly much needed, assistance to help you do so. I disagree. I mean, what system would fix this? Mom continues to have children for whom she can't afford adequate care. Are you suggesting the government provides such significant subsidies that everyone can have an abundance regardless of their personal choices regarding allocating their own resources? If she was a single mother of 1 or 2 kids and struggling, okay, but this lady has 7 kids and is still going, considering one's a baby. It's highly selfish for someone to continue having kids when they can't actually take care of them. Yeah, the idiot is the mother, or possibly the circumstances in which she was conditioned, e.g. religion, which results in her having 7 children despite bad conditions. She's not able to properly support her children. And where is or are the fathers? There's a lot of missing info here. But having kids is a choice, and either the mothers made bad decisions or those bad decisions were made for her. I'm pretty sure the idiot here is CPS for demanding they get more beds but not providing any. They don't do that. I promise they gave the mother a website and a phone number for assistance. My gut tells me CPS is returning for more than just the beds. Reasons that OP either isn't aware of, hasn't mentioned, or finds normal. The mother needs birth control instead of pumping out kids with random men who bail. OP, I'm worried for you. Not because of sharing a bed with your sister, but because a family of 7 is shoved into a 2-bedroom apartment and your family depends on a teenager's earnings. I must stress this. Your living situation does not sound normal. This is why your friend told her parents, and that's why they called CPS. They did the right thing. Your mom clearly cannot care for all your siblings, and they deserve better. And your childhood is being ruined by a mother who needs you to work and miss school to pay for things. My older brother and his ex-wife had a rocky marriage before they finally divorced. Honestly, there were enough faults on both parts, so no one can claim the high ground. Because his income was several times hers, the court awarded her alimony. Thankfully, they were married for less than 10 years, so he only had to pay her alimony for half of their marriage. His last payment to her will happen this month. So the guys and I are planning an ends of alimony party for him. We're planning a week-long stay in Vegas at the Wynn, and we'll chip in to fully cover his end. Because we're planning to go at the end of the month, and about a dozen guys are going, we've been texting and talking to coordinate this trip. When the trip was first planned, I told my girlfriend, and she wasn't happy about it. She wasn't mad that we were having a guys' trip because we've taken separate vacations before without any issues. She wasn't happy with the theme and said that it was in bad taste. I disagreed, and we discussed it until we agreed to disagree. On Friday, she was using my phone to watch her shows, and one of the guys sent a pic he designed for a shirt we plan to make him wear. The gist of the design is that he's free of alimony payments and can afford to eat again with some graphics. It was in a group text, and the other guys texted their robust approval. This sent my girlfriend into a rage I've never seen before. We got into a huge argument that lasted all weekend. We even had to cancel dinner plans we had with some friends. I thought our argument was ending, but this morning, while we were getting ready for work, she gave me the silent treatment and completely ignored my questions. Basically, she wants me to cancel the trip and admit that we're being terrible people for celebrating something so painful. I don't want to cancel the trip, and my brother is excitedly looking forward to the end of his payments, so I don't see any pain. I don't know why she's so mad because none of this has anything to do with her. She doesn't even know his ex since they divorced before we met. Edit. My brother and his ex both worked during their marriage. He's a dentist, and she's a teacher, so their income was imbalanced, which was why she was awarded alimony. He didn't starve during the alimony years, but his lifestyle was severely impacted. His monthly alimony payments were more than her monthly salary. There were no kids involved. They didn't have children together, so there was no child support. The shirt graphic is of the Monopoly guy pulling both pockets out of his pants to signify he's out of money. My girlfriend's parents are divorced, which was back in the day. I don't know anything about their alimony or child support because she doesn't talk about it, and I don't want to be pushy with a sensitive topic. Why does she have an opinion about something that has nothing to do with her, involving a woman she doesn't know? That's actually a really good thing for your brother. Her reaction is like a red flag twirling party, seriously. As long as this party is legal, nobody cheats on their current partner, you make darn sure to have the best time ever. It's all great. Not the idiot. It seems like your girlfriend is. If you marry her, get a prenuptial agreement. Don't let her be a stay-at-home wife or mother. Do not trust she's faithful with her birth control. She may have an oops, and you would be on the hook. It seems like OP's girlfriend is projecting her mother's situation onto this other woman whom she's never met. This is total speculation on my part, but I strongly suspect you wouldn't see this behavior from a woman whose parents have an intact marriage unless she was just on some weird, generally controlling kick. OP, before you go any further with her, investigate, sensitive or not, because this will affect you. I, 24 male, have always been the black sheep of the family. I'm more quiet and reserved than my siblings and wasn't as interested in sports as them. My youngest brother, 21 male, Sam, is a big athlete, and my parents' favoritism is blatant. He can do whatever he wants, blame me, and my parents just believe him and punish me. For example, he took our dad's truck for a joyride and hit something, leaving a massive dent in the door. He blamed me and I was grounded, and my graduation party was canceled. While I was at college, the truth came out, and Sam got no punishment. Or when he ruined my mom's fabric scissors. I was out with a friend when it happened, but I still got grounded because Sam said I ruined them. I could go on, but it always boils down to Sam messing something up, blaming me, and I get punished. After graduating, I moved to the other side of the country for art school, and I never visited home. I only kept in contact with my other brother, Will, 23, and we have a good relationship. Recently, I got a new job that moved me closer to home, and I told Will about it. My mom then contacted me and said we should all get together to celebrate. I was hesitant, but my mom said we'd go to my favorite restaurant and they'd pay. Plus, it would be the first time seeing Will in person in 2 years, so I accepted. Sam still lives with our parents, and it was immediately apparent he hadn't changed much in the past 6 years. He's coasting off his track scholarship and doesn't seem to care much about anything. Anyways, on the dinner day, Sam starts complaining about the restaurant choice and saying he'd rather not go. After some back and forth between our parents and him, they asked if we could go somewhere else. I told them no, they can go somewhere else to cuddle their golden boy, but I came here for that restaurant, and I was going to enjoy the food I wanted. Sam called me pathetic and childish for not compromising. I saw red after that. I told him he was the pathetic one. He's a lazy SOB who can't take on an ounce of responsibility and couldn't last a week without our parents. My mom told me off, saying that I was being nasty about what was supposed to be a happy day. And I told her I hadn't felt happiness around the three of them since I was a kid. My dad called me a brat and demanded I apologize. I told him to screw off and that he doesn't have a shred of integrity after canceling my graduation party and never apologizing after he found out it was Sam. My mom tried to defend him, but Sam said I was just being an idiot because they weren't impressed enough I was a starving artist. I then told them all to screw off and left. I called Will and stayed with him until my flight on Wednesday. He told me I was right and justified, but it was harsh of me to say all that. He isn't asking me to apologize, but he did tell me our mom hasn't left her room since it happened. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Good for you for finally standing up to them. Maybe your mom's currently having an epiphany about how crappy they've been towards you. Nice, you got Will in your corner. A bit of reality never hurt anyone. They may need to start seeing how the golden child really is. I really feel like they don't respect you at all compared to Sam. It's hard not to go off the handle for the summation of decades of unfair treatment. It wasn't nice, and it might not have been right, but what did they honestly expect? Maybe your mom is currently having an epiphany? Mom is not having an epiphany. Mom is wallowing in self-pity and formulating a plan to be the victim in this. OP, go NC with everyone but Will. Your family's favoritism was just pure evil. I would suggest some counseling to ease your pain. Best wishes for your future. Be the best you can be. Screw your brother and your enabling parents. They're not worth losing sleep over. So my husband and I just had a baby this year. We've set a lot of unpopular boundaries with everyone. One boundary set was to call before coming over to our house because my husband is gone during the day, and sometimes the baby and I will nap throughout the day if we didn't get much sleep the night before, which happens often. We communicated this clearly to everyone. His family didn't try to come over in the first few weeks, but after that, they would come over at random times and call once they were 5 minutes away. Of course, I was asleep each time they tried. They tried about 3 times, so I couldn't let them in because I was asleep and had no idea they were there. His family was hurt by this. His mom only comes by now when my husband's coming home from taking his older sister home for medical treatment because his mom picks her up and takes her back home from our house. She usually just waits out in a car until he gets back and won't come in when he does get here. She'll make an excuse like, I've been sick, or I'm tired so I just want to go home. My husband is mad at me for this, but I'm not sure what to do about it. We told her to knock when she got here so I could let her in, but she refused to get out of her car. His family's also upset that I don't let them hold our baby. I've never rejected someone in his family when they've asked to hold the baby. I always happily hand her off when someone asks. After all, I want her to bond with her family. My husband said tonight that I should offer. It never even crossed my mind that I should be offering. I love holding our baby. Offering isn't really a huge thing in my family. To add to the fire, I brought along my mother to my husband's sister's quinceañera about a month ago, and we all had fun, but they noticed that my mother was holding the baby a lot. My mom is constantly asking me to hold her anytime she sees our baby, and like I said, I don't say no when people ask. His family took this personally and didn't even try to interact with our baby after that. My husband and I ran into his mom today, and he asked her if she wanted to hold the baby. She rejected the offer, and she voiced that she felt unwelcome in our home and was upset about my mother holding the baby at the quinceañera when she didn't get to hold her at all, but she didn't even try to. My husband took her side, which hurt. All of these concerns were voiced to me all at once tonight, so I needed more context while they were happening. I don't want to have problems with him or his family. They've done a lot for me. Maybe I'm giving off a weird vibe somehow to them. I know I can be super socially awkward, but I feel like my actions with his family versus his have been virtually the same. I don't see how this could make them feel uncomfortable or unwelcome. What do they mean by offering? So every time his family's around, they want you to go up to each of them and say, "Hold my baby, please." Not the idiot. You have the right to set boundaries, and they need to respect them. Your husband is definitely the idiot here. Apparently, I'm supposed to ask, "Hey, would you like to hold her?" My husband's logic was that he does that with my family. I like holding my baby and don't need to hand her off constantly. No, you're not supposed to ask people to hold your baby. This is not only absurd, but also dangerous. Not everyone wants to hold a baby, and a lot of people have no idea how to hold or handle a baby. People get excited and act weird, and most people will say yes because you asked. I mean, no one wants to be rude to a new mom, and your husband needs to understand that. Lady, you're supposed to guess what your husband's family wants so you can delicately offer them what they want. Under any other circumstances, you'd find this funny, but you've just had a baby and understandably have very little extra energy for the level of telepathy your husband's family requires. He comes from this culture, so why not get him to run the telepathic interference? He can guess away at what his family is hinting at and proffer the baby at suitable intervals to appease his mother. You could even have an extra nap while all this hinting and guessing is going on. I love the way you laid this out. OP, your husband's family needs to get a grip. Calling before you show up at someone's doorstep is a common courtesy. Pouting because you, at first, didn't offer your mother-in-law the baby to hold. What, is the woman mute that she couldn't ask? And then refusing to hold the baby when offered is patently ridiculous. And this is your husband's family. He needs to straighten them out and defend you. Wow, you have my sympathies.